original calling. Calling essentially means God is calling and telling you what you should do. That's where the word comes from. I have a calling means, see, if you were interested in engineering and you came here, you wouldn't feel this way. You were interested in a social stature and you came here, now you naturally are disappointed, you
What the question I'm trying to ask is this… we have these cliches notions of a true calling, of this authentic self. So, can you tell us what that would mean in a spiritual context and in the context of a youth today?
Of calling. Because now the calling in 21st century has been slightly tweaked by people because they feel a little embarrassed. Calling essentially means God is calling and telling you what you should do. That's where the word comes from. I have a calling means God is calling me and telling me, become an engineer, when he himself was not. So, this comes from a religious context where people say, I have a calling. Once again, it's very foreign in the Indian context, but we have taken it up because today we have come to a place there is nothing specific that we can say Indian, it's gotten all mixed up. We are a kaleidoscope of many things. It's okay. So, this aspect of I came to IIT thinking something, it's some hallowed space, it is not like that, just ordinary people teaching some silly subject. We thought we thought the professors will come with a halo, but they don't even have hair. So this kind of disappointments are there. So I want you to understand this. See, if you were interested in engineering and you came here, you wouldn't feel this way. You were interested in a social stature and you came here, now you naturally are disappointed, you should be. Actually, there should be an ejection system in the first year, is there? Those who come with social callings, they're all ejected. If you genuinely wanted to become an engineer, engineering is fascinating for you, then you would find many ways to make your stay in IIT very interesting and growing process for yourself. But you came here thinking if you come here, the whole world will bow down to you. Well, such a thing did not happen, and I'm glad it's not happening, because just because you entered an institution or you fell out of one, if the world starts bowing down, that world will not go very far. If you become a great engineer, people will bow down to you, that's a different matter. So, I think entering any place for wrong reasons always gives you this thing. This happens with an institution, this happens with a job, this happens with marriage. Hello? Because you got into those things for wrong reasons. Out of your love for somebody, if it happens, then it would be different. You thought by this you will get something else, then you will be disappointed. The same thing with this institution. This institution did not drop down from heaven or something, this is human beings built it and of a reasonable standards, better than most other things that we built in the country. So, only if you want to become a good engineer, you're really passionate about becoming an engineer, engineering has fascinated you, then this would be a nice place. If engineering has not fascinated you, you're looking at social prestige and whatever else, I'm glad they're frustrating you. They should frustrate you even more because for the wrong reasons we are doing things. So, about hierarchy, about filtration systems, see, the question is not about who is superior to whom. But at the same time, competence is one thing that you cannot ignore in the world. You cannot ignore competence. The moment you ignore competence, then it's a downhill society. So in any given place, competence will be valued, competence will decide who sits where. I think we have to come to terms with it. But in the kindergarten school, you get 100, I get 99 and you're superior to me. This is a bad trend. But at this stage of your life, when you're trying to enter into a certain aspect of life, competence has to be identified. If competence is not identified and rewarded, then what is the point of life? It will be like that. This doesn't mean others have to be treated badly. Maybe there is somebody here who is in engineering college, but they would have made a good chef, maybe they would have made a good musician, they're just in the wrong place. They should volunteer in the kitchen and they may find their calling. So I'm saying, not everybody may have competence for a certain subject. But the problem of education is, we have millions and millions of youth like you, we have to put them into something. We don't have million subjects, we only have that many subjects. So we put all these millions into those subjects, whether it is you're enjoying it or it's painful for you, it doesn't matter, we're putting you through the same extruder because that's all there is. We still have not been able to create that kind of education where each one will be nurtured according to their competence. There are only certain number of extruders, we have to push you through that. In an institution like this, there is little more room for maneuvering compared to other institutions where it is simply one thing to do. But is this a perfect place? I don't think so. And I don't think there's any perfect place. You know, this is not just here, always people are coming. If people come to Isha Yoga Center for 2 days, people come and say, Sadhguru, this is like heaven. I said, don't ever say this. I don't know how that place is managed. Here, we are taking a lot of pains to manage this well, all right? I don't know how that place is managed, because I see wherever they say it is a place of God, it is pretty badly managed all around the place. So I don't say this is heaven, this is Isha Yoga Center. We are proud the way it is because we take enormous care to keep it the way it is. Even here, because we are a volunteer organization, you're here compulsively, right? We are a volunteer organization, everybody is there by choice, but they'll come and say, Sadhguru, I can't work with this guy, he's horrible, oh, she's terrible, I can't even look at her face, like this, every day. So I tell them, see, in this world, there are only such horrible people everywhere. If what you're doing is very significant, if you realize what you're doing is significant, learn to work with all these horrible people. If you want to work with perfect human beings, you must go to heaven and today. Yes. So all of you should understand, if IIT Kanpur is turning out to be a bad place, it's a very good training place for you to enter the world.